Oh my God. I'm starting the stream. Can you hear me? I'm starting the stream 30 seconds early. I hope that's okay. I broke out the purple garb today and the lipstick and everything. It was really fun. It's been a while. um, Hello, can you hear me okay? Is everything all right? Actually, I never really know if my voice is going to be loud enough for what's playing on the um, through the computer because it doesn't represent that to me. So we'll see. If my voice is like a lot louder or quieter than when I start playing music, just let me know in the chat. But hi everybody, welcome. So tonight's live stream is not a song request live stream. It's not a year, 1970 live stream. It is a very specific reason we're here, which is to listen to and watch the lyric video of my latest single, Your God. And then I'm going to spend like a half an hour showing you some things about how I put the song together. I'm going to show you the instrument groupings that the mixing engineer sent back to me, so you can kind of hear all the basic layers soloed. And then I'm also going to walk you through the entire drum tracks from my session, which I haven't counted the drum tracks, but it goes like I have to scroll to see them all. So there's a lot of layering there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to showing you a little bit about how I made the drums, especially because I had this idea in my head and I actually did it. And you know how that when you're trying to make something, anything artistic or anything creative, and you have this idea of what you're trying to do and you can't do it yet, you just don't have the skills. And there's something charming about that, but it's also kind of a frustrating experience, and then you work harder and eventually you get there. But this was the first time that I was able to make this beat how I wanted it. And so that was just such a amazing rush of like, oh, I did it. And I wanted them to sound very cinematic. And I feel like I achieved that sound. I actually used some cinematic hits, like from what are they called? It was some kind of sample pack where they had, like sound effects for film, for editors, for sound designer editors in film. So, yeah, and I can answer some general questions about things. For those of you that backed my Kickstarter and chose the behind the screens tier, you'll be getting a very thorough walkthrough of this whole project. So yeah, I'm going to like banter for a bit while people show up. So don't leave. Don't get bored. Look, flowers. Look, cat. Purple. Check out this mic I defiled. It's a Rode NT1 and it was black and I just felt like it needed a different outfit. So here we go. Isn't that cool? Oh my God, angles. Look at that. Okay. All right. You're entertained, right? Okay, good. All right. We got Clores. We got Nick. We got Perceptes. Tiger, what's up? We got... It's telling me to insert an ad. I'm not going to do that. I am not inserting ads into my live streams ever. All right. JTVJ, what's up? Andrew, Luca, Irish Mickey, Chris, D, Gavin, Johnny, Thomas. War Mimic is just a man. Andrew, Ether, Yusnola. I don't think I did that right. Michael R. How did I get the mic like this? Well, I simply bought some removable vinyl from like a craft store. It comes in like a 10 by 10 sheet. And I used an X-Acto knife and I kind of measured it, kind of eyeballed it, and I cut it into 3 pieces. This piece, and you can see the ugly back, which is, it won't stay shut. But see, it's just sticky paper basically. And the same thing I did for this guy. This is also a similar kind. It's just a slightly different color. And then if you remember from before, I used to have a mic that had this on it, this pattern. Yeah. But that mic started having issues. And then it started working again. So I actually just gave it to one of my students because I had already bought this one. Heath from Ohio, I don't know why that came out. Hawaii. Isn't Ohio almost like kind of like a Hawaii, Ohio? There's some very similar patterns there. Tiger asked, you mentioned you hadn't heard of Decca the record label. True. Can you say something about what the word means to you? I've always liked kind of making up words to some degree. I really didn't know what to call this album until I started thinking about what it was about, and I realized that it was really about this decade of my life. And then the word Decca just kind of came out, and I was like, oh, I like that. And then I thought, is it one C? Is it two C's? And I played around. I was like, I like it with one C, honestly, but it looks like Deca. And I was like, I don't like how that sounds. So it's got to have the two C's. And then later on, someone was like, oh, yeah, that's a record label. I hope you don't get sued. I was like, oh, God. Me neither. So that's the basics of what it means. Oh, no lava lamps? Ooh, I should get some lava lamps. Yeah, those are entertaining. Is it hot everywhere for wherever you are? It is 94 degrees today in Texas. Oh, all right. Cool. So I'm gonna show. So what we're gonna do tonight is, yeah, that looks cool, Clores. I love that. That's really cool. I designed sort of I ended up not using it, but I designed kind of a logo for Decca where I had the C, the second C kind of inside the other C, so they were like nested. And I thought I liked how that looked, but I didn't like how the overall logo looked. And I was just using a font, so I couldn't really like actually manipulate it much. Who knows? I might still use it. So what we're gonna do tonight is I'm gonna share on my screen the lyric video, which is on my YouTube already, and you may have already watched it earlier today. But I used a photograph from my Decca photo shoot where I had this amazing, cool makeup on with a dead baby's breath flowers as eyelashes. And I wanted her to put this like orange, like almost sunken in, but orange thing around my eyes. And then we did like a little orangey, pinky thing on my lips, kind of the middle. And then she did a little contouring of my clavicle because I wanted to have all these pictures of the clavicle sticking out because I think clavicles are so cool. So she like contoured that, and then she put a dead plant nestled on one of my clavicle shelves. She does a lot of prosthetics and SFX makeup, special effects. There you go, makeup. And then she, as the shoot went on, she continued to do this, but she started with all these like airbrushed like veins on my right hand with like moss stuck to it, like I was decomposing. And then later on, she added a mushroom, which is the coolest thing. I still have it, and it's like hanging on my wall, basically. She added a mushroom coming out of me, and then she started with glitter on my tattoo, and the symbol for Decca is the circle. And then later on, she put all the veins and all these things coming off of it, and she put this really cool material around the tattoo so that it was like 3D. And then she painted that, and anyway, it was so cool. It was the coolest thing. And so the photo that I used for this lyric video is from near the beginning of the shoot where they had me lying down. And I don't think you have seen any of the pictures of me standing up. Oh, no, you have. So all the pictures that you saw, like for Calling Me Back In, where I'm like looking up, those are from the standing up pictures. I haven't shown you any of the like full body ones, but the dress I was wearing had like flowers all over it, like I was becoming the earth. It was kind of like, skin color. And but yeah, they had me lying down first, and then so I've just been having a lot of fun getting a lot out of that one image, basically. I'm playing with different blending modes in my software, Final Cut Pro and Photoshop. And anyway, I've never made lyric videos before, but it was actually really fun. It's very tedious, but I don't know. I think I like tedium. Some of the inspiration for the photo shoot was Björk for sure, and also Annihilation. When that, just in general, the idea, the way that they depicted Annihilation in the movie, but also specifically that when they find that corpse that's been like become fungus, it's like against the wall. It's so cool. If I was your cod. Yeah. Okay, I think there's plenty of people here now, so maybe we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to play the lyric video. It's going to take up the whole screen. You won't see me. Once it's over, I'll switch back over here and I'll get us set up to show you some stems. What are stems? I mean, I only know what they are from context, basically. I'm going to show you the groupings of the instruments that the mixing engineer sent back to me. So the lead vocal stem, the vocal stacks stem, the drums stem, bass stem, pads, synths, ethereal vox. And then I'm going to show you track by track my Logic session of the drums, which I wouldn't consider stems. I would consider those the tracks. But I don't know. Maybe someone else can answer that question better. Yeah. Oh no, please ask all the questions. I mean, yeah, I'm still learning a lot also, and yes. It might take down the video? No, because my music's not in the YouTube content ID. Some of it I'd submitted to it, but it hasn't shown up, so I don't know if it's going to, and that's okay. I mean, as long as someone doesn't try to steal it, but it has an ISRC code, so it's copywritten and everything, and it should be fine. Anyway. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to switch over to the lyric video now, and we'll get started with that. Obviously, let me know if there's any issues with the sound. I tested it, but it's me. Something always goes wrong. All right. Oh, and if you like this, you can watch it on my YouTube channel. It's the most recent video, and I would love it if you watched it and left a comment, which helps, the algorithm show it to more people or share it with people. That would be awesome. I worked so hard on this one. All right. Did you see that? You guys got thanked. All of you got thanked. Wait, let me turn up my volume. There we go. I mean, I, I really, 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 really don't think I would have ever done this if I didn't have this YouTube channel and this community. I don't think I would have been listening to the music I was listening to as much as I was. I don't think I would have been having all these ideas in my head. I don't think I would have had the confidence or the drive or I don't know. Like, it just feels like so intrinsically connected to all of you. So I hope you know that you are a huge reason why that happened. How cool. Okay, so I crashed your browser? Awesome. All right. Let me switch over to, I think it's this screen. Oh, okay. Maybe not. Let me, hang on. There we go. Okay, so you guys now see logic and colors and tracks and things, yes? Good. All right. So I'm going to show you first. I'm going to kind of play through the whole song again, but I'm going to just like mute things on and off. And we can double back and listen to some stuff again. And then once we're satisfied, I'll go into the drums, which are sitting below all those rainbow tracks. The thing about this song, it was very hard to mix. And Taylor J. Webb was my mixing engineer, and he was local, but I also I did like one session with him in person, and then the rest we actually ended up doing remotely because I ended up having this amazing donation of some really incredible mixing headphones that I can trust. And so I felt like, okay, I can just listen to everything on my headphones and feel good about it. But he was amazing, and I'm very detail oriented, and he was just so like gracious, and he kind of just let me be as picky as I wanted to be about things, and I'm really glad because there's so many layers and details in this, which is why it was hard to mix. I've learned a lot already, like during the mixing process. I learned so much about arranging, especially with vocals. And of course, now the album is done, I can't go back and change it, but in the future, I will certainly be doing things differently. But as a result, there's a lot going on in the song that you're just not hearing because there's just so much happening all at once. So I'm kind of looking forward to showing you a little bit like what is getting covered up. So one of the things that is in here that you probably didn't notice is what I called the subharmonic. So when you've done this before, you're like and you see how slow you can get the vibrations of your vocal cords. Well, I was playing around with that one day, and I ended up with like and I can't really do it again. It was a one-time thing, but I hit the key of the song, but like an octave lower than I can sing it with that sound. And I was like, record. And so that's layered throughout the song most of the time. So now you get to maybe hear it a little bit. I think, so here are the stems. Actually, I can probably just do this so that you can see a little bit more of oh, what just happened? That's weird. Oh, I see. Okay. So that, yeah. All right. So I think the A's are maybe in the ethereal vox layer. So I'm going to start the song with just kind of that and maybe some of there's not really pads. I'm not sure what he put in here. I think the pads are actually more like the magic. There's like these little magical things. Okay. So the is were there at the beginning and then they come back in. Here, I'll probably just go ahead and turn on the vocal stack. So there, I can't remember how many we ended up with, but there's like maybe five-ish stacked vocal layers here that are underneath the lead vocal. And I used Waves Vocal Bender to pitch my voice down an octave, but I also did some where I just moved the formant down, which is like the size of your larynx, kind of. So instead of, remember, it was like, remember, which I can sing, but it was fun to do it with the effects instead. And so there's a bunch of layers there, and then a couple of them have a delay that I fell in love with from Valhalla Valhalla Delay. I think it's called Carol Ann's Ghost or something. But oh my God, it's so creepy. And so you'll hear the delay as well off of some of those. There's also some whisper tracks that you'll probably be able to hear now. Here's the lead vocal. I'll dance with your dad, cradled in my mouth, chokehold of your weapons with harmony. If I was your guide, I'd beat the walls down. Climb in your bones and show you I found whatever you lost. If I was your guide. There's the magic. Here you'll hear. Oh yeah, so there's an octave doubling in the vocal stack, and that's actually me singing in that octave. If I was your God. So just kind of, I had a more inhuman sound I was going for the verse, and then I wanted things to feel a lot more vulnerable in the chorus. So there's a lot more like processing on this part for sure. Then under here, so this is I think this is the rubber band sound that Clores is in love with. There's different levels of it though. There's the like chilled out level, and then there's the like pay attention to me level. So this is the like. I had that one little, which you can't hear at all in the song, of course. And then, so that's, I think right here in the chorus, it's gonna get loud to the next level, right? No, that's all the synths. Okay, we'll find it. The bass, I loved the bass. This is very Trenty to me. The bass is a couple layers. One is what I called the voice synth. And it was a synth patch, but it just sounded voice-like. And because it almost had a formant in and of itself, like, ooh, you know, when I move it around. So I loved how that sounded. It just reminded me of, yeah, this like kind of uncanny valley feeling. And then there's the main bass line, which also has a lot of texture. And it's like an octave lower. There's also a drone of the voice synth that just, it's basically going the entire time, creating like tension. So I'll move it over here so you can hear it once the, here, I'll put it with the lead vox. Um, so, okay, let's look at the synths. So all the synths are kind of bundled together in these stems. But what I've got is a mellotron doing the men's choir. It might be a mixture of men's and women's choir. I can't remember. And then a like an organ. So yeah, this is like my I layered too many things. You can't hear them. There's an organ, and then there's like some kind of more bright sounding synth, and they're kind of doing these chords. And there's also a cymbalom, which or maybe it's the dulcimer. No, it's a cymbalom. It sounds a lot like a dulcimer when it does a tremolo. So you've heard it before in whatever they sampled for Glory Box. No, Sour Times. Sorry, Sour Times. Wait, it's the one Nobody Loves Me Like You, Not Like You Do. I can't remember which one that is. By Portishead. Anyway, I downloaded this cymbalom, I think from Spitfire, and was like, I don't know what this instrument is, but I love it, and I'm going to have to use it in a song one day, and it was definitely this one. I love that sound so much. So it's got a tremolo going, and it gets louder and softer depending on the chorus. I think it's softer for this chorus. But you can hear it. And then over here, okay, so for the second verse, the vocal stacks, I don't know if they increased or if I just did some different harmonies, but I now have more lower voices and some mid harmonies. So there's like some kind of parallel, very like 5th C, 4th C, ancient sounding harmonies going on in the vocal stacks. Let's see. I know you've been trying so desperately, can't push it off of you so easily. Inside you, it lies to protect your peace. This world is all around you, but you can't see. There's that subharmonic. There it is. Yeah, and there's a little blip there. You can't hear it though in the context. I haven't really been checking the chat. I probably should. Are all the layers our voice? All the layers. Which part? Sorry, I kind of got a little behind on the chat there. It's Sour Times. Okay, gotcha. How is the rubber band sound made? I'm not going to go into that tonight, but essentially I just played it on a synth. I think I just played it and then I quantized it because, you know, it's hard to go whatever that is. So I had to do some chopping up. But the lower level one I think is the same synth, but then the higher level one I think just has like a lot of saturation and reverb or something on it, so it just had a bigger presence, if I remember, but another time. Okay, and then let's go hang out over here. Okay, so this is the bridge, and I really toyed with the length of the bridge a lot. It used to be a lot shorter, and then I made it longer, and then I ended up with this sort of middle of the road bridge. It's kind of focused a lot on the instrumentation, and then I ended up writing a melody and harmony along with it, which was never the plan, but it just kind of came out that way. And then it exploded into this really like siren-y kind of vocal stack of just which I really ended up liking a lot. So let's look at, okay, let's put on magic and synths and drums and bass. So this is the instrumental part, I guess. That's the magic. I love it. All right. So to do this like kind of hit, which is on, it's like not on beat one. I delayed it and I really like that. And I'm pretty sure I got that like internal desire to do that from Nine Inch Nails' Even Deeper. I feel like there's a lot of hits on that same delayed beat in Even Deeper. So I think that's kind of what inspired me to do it that way. But I like the feeling, and then I got to like do the breaths. These are all inhales and exhales. By the way, it's really interesting. This at the beginning when I start singing, that sounds like, but it's actually all inhales. It's all, isn't that crazy? I don't know how it ended up sounding like an exhale, but I thought that was really interesting that like it's just our breath, and maybe it's more similar than, we think. I don't know. It's not that deep. Okay, but back to the bridge. So there's a big cinematic hit of a downer that goes, and then this brrr, and then the kicks. I have a bunch of kicks. Probably not do that again, but I will. And I think even a respace that goes and then fades out. And then this you might think is a gated bass, but it's all played in MIDI. And then I went in and I went, and that was that kind of the tie into the, which by the way, I literally called it like just a bunch of D's. I was like, I don't know what else to call this. And then I also did the on the ethereal vox. Let's see if we can hear it. Right in center, yeah. This is a gate on some reversed vocal of mine. I can't remember where I got it from. Kind of lost the beat. I don't know where I am. Here's the bridge. Let's see. Okay. Bass. So she kind of wails all the way to the end of the song on that half step. And then let's look at the synth action here. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is next level rubber band. There is a sample behind that too. You can kind of hear it here. So right after the da 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 da, you're gonna hear like another little, and that definitely inspired what I played into MIDI. It was like a really small snippet of some sample. I don't know where I got it from, but I slowed it down a lot, and it wasn't like a tight rhythm, but when I heard it, it like, this is the rhythm that I thought it should be, was like, or like if it were a rhythm, it would be that. It was da 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 da. So that's actually where that rhythm kind of came from. And then, so this is like the big kind of build up with all the voices going at once, and this is what the synths sound like here. Let's see who's winning here. I can't remember if it's the cymbalom or the choir. More choirs. Okay, I think that's a pretty good like stem walkthrough. Let's move on to the drums. Okay. All right, so I put them all down yonder. Let me get these guys muted. Oop. All right. So this is a copy of my actual session, like from the latest session that I used for the mixes. So a lot of these I either played in MIDI or I chopped up samples and spliced them together to create new grooves and loops and things. And then I bounced them, which is basically like printing them. So it creates an audio file for those that don't know what bounce means. And so you'll see a lot of these that say bounce. The ones that don't say bounce are still in the MIDI form, or they are still where I placed each individual like audio file, like up here. So just so you know, like this is actually the culmination of like tons of chopping. So is this, the clicks, which you can't even really see the waveform. They're so tiny. All these taiko drums down here. The reason I did that was to help my CPU out. I wouldn't say it was crashing, but it was just having issues. So I would start bouncing things. And also I had this nightmare happen during the mixing process where I had plugged in a device that I wasn't actually using. I thought I might use it, but I just like left it plugged in. But it must have been sending like random MIDI signals to my project without me touching it, or maybe I accidentally was touching it. It was like an expression knob thing. And so I would like open my project during the mixing, and suddenly the drum, like two of the drum sounds would just be wrong. And I'd be like, what the hell? Like, and the worst part was it was also changing my synth patches to like initialization patches, where it's like basically nothing. And I was just like, and I would try to go back to old versions and it would redo the mistake. And I was like, what is going on? So that was scary and awful. But I eventually saved it by taking an old version of it on a different computer and seeing what it was, and then recreating it here. So, oh my God, that was so awful. I almost forgot about that. I'm like re-traumatizing myself. Anyway, so I would also bounce things as we start to mix, just to be like, oh my God, please don't change. Like, isn't that the worst? You like work so hard on something and you open it up and it's all different and you didn't do anything. Oh my God, it was awful. And it was like on the most, so this session it has 125 tracks. So it's like the worst possible one that could happen on. Okay, so anyway, enough talking. Here we go. So let me build this from the bottom. So it kind of started with just the kicks. Yeah, I had 2. Yep, I needed 2 to get the right sound because I'm still learning. And then I had 2 claps also, and I'll build those up though. I'll build it all up. So let's start with the sub kick. All right. And then my thin kick, which is just really like trash can. Really cuts through though. And then clap. We got another clap. And then a hiss. And so these are all my breaths, but with lots of effects on them. And then here's the chorus where the pattern changes. Because it wasn't cinematic enough, I had to add this cinematic hit. And then there's these toms. So the first pattern I had was just or whatever. So there's like these really sparse toms, and I think it was just this thin tom at first, which is really quiet. And then I added taiko toms to it. They're not toms, but that's how I thought about it. And then more taikos. And I'm trying to remember what the sample pack was. Oh, I guess I could look. Okay, it's a Kontakt library. Low explosive taiko drums. I can't remember where I found them, but I did an internet search for taikos. I was like, I need taiko drums in my life. I'm very inspired by the score of Avatar: The Last Airbender. And there's several things in this album that are influenced from that music, and this is definitely one of them. And then I added the hammer. And I pitch it up and down. Oh, I did. Okay, so I made some of them high and some of them low to give it that organic feel. And then I added some more sticks, taikos. So could this have been achieved with fewer tracks? Absolutely. But this was the best I could do with the skills I have now. And it was fun. Oh, right, and the highest ones. So this whole drum beat really relies on like these transitions of having this like, and it like, then there'd be silence after that. So like all my transitions are silent transitions basically. But they have that accent on that last beat, I guess, or before the next section starts. So I used the sticks. I feel like taiko sticks are so good at that kind of feeling of like it, like closing off. They're just so, I don't know. And then, but that's just like the drum beat, but there's more to me, there's more to the groove, which is all of this stuff up here. So, let me, I'm gonna unsolo these guys. And okay, so here's the at its most basic level. And then the pluck added to it. And then the spangy drums. Okay, so the spangy drums, is from Charlie Clauser's Hammers. It's not cheap, but I got it on sale years ago, and I hadn't really used it until this song, and it was just so perfect for it. So I loaded up ensembles, and then I basically just played the ensemble on my keyboard. And then I did quantize it afterwards somewhat so that it had that real tight sound to it. But I played it in rhythm, and I just kind of improvised until I found something I liked. And I did some layering so that there's a couple different takes being played at the same time, as you can see, like here, left and right. I guess I didn't name them left and right, but that's really what they are. They're a little bit panned, so I'll show you those spangy drums, which I really love. And I'm so pleased that they actually do cut through the mix, because they're kind of delicate sounding, but I think it's just the frequency range. Okay, maybe I quantize that 100%. That sounds really perfect. And then it really helped that taiko. So the taiko goes ta or like kta on that like transition, but it's the spangy drums that do the ba-da-da. And I think that's so essential to the sound. Yeah. So those are going throughout a lot of the song. And then the bell keys bounce. That's the warped pluck, but again, maybe it is a different synth. Yeah, I don't know anymore. Not with this session, but it's because it's called bell keys. I'm gonna guess it is a different synth, and I just played the same and added all this added some distortion, saturation, and reverb to it to give it that sound. No, that really does sound just like the warp pluck, doesn't it? Doesn't it? It does. It is. Okay, so I don't know why it got a different name. Maybe it was called Bell Keys and then I named it Warp Pluck later. I'm not sure. Okay, so it is just the reverb that's really making it sound so epic. And then the other elements that are worth looking at is the artifact chops. So I've got two different patterns of the artifact chop, and I offset them and panned them. It just gives it a little movement. And then, since you probably can't tell where the beat is without this, I'll put this back in. And then the clicks. Oh my God. Okay. I can't exactly remember now how I made the clicks, but I sampled like a little nanosecond of something and then made it into like a clicky noise and then sequenced it out by hand. Well, not sequenced, but I like placed them all by hand, zoomed in so far and then bounced it and bounced it again and bounced it again and then like offset them so that I could get this tick, 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 like 30-second note kind of. And it happens to fit into the scale. I think it's like the 5th of the scale, which is great. And then the stutter whoosh actually came from Hammers as well. And I can't exactly remember how it was created, but I remember it was from Hammers. And then there was some bouncing. But anyway, listen to it. It's so cool. It has this amazing rhythm. And then I did another one, which was panned. And I don't remember what this one's going to sound like. Oh, this one I put a bunch of weird effects on it. Of course, now I can't see the effects, but... that one. And this artifact chop is a little different than the others. I can't remember how. But anyway, I think those are all the layers there. Okay, I'm going to just check out the chat because I haven't really been looking, see if there's any questions or anything. It's a little glitchy. Yeah, the artifact loop was really glitchy to begin with. And I like to slow things down, and then I think I probably also got that from Trent Reznor. He did that a lot in Year Zero. He would like make a groove and then he would slow his own groove down, and to the point where it sounded like a bit crushed, or like just like it sounded degraded. And I think I just started to really like how that sounded. But yeah. All right. Well, if there aren't any burning questions, I think we'll conclude the stream here. But yeah, I think this song might be a decent contender for me to try to submit it to sync licensing, or like make some versions of it with, that are like maybe without the actual pop vocals and more just the atmosphere, I also was playing around with just the sound of no drums and sort of the ethereal layers and the bass and the synths, and that also sounded really cinematic. So it could be neat. I could see this being, being used for some like maybe a TV show. I don't know if I would watch the TV show, but I feel like I see ads for them all the time. There's like something supernatural going on and there's like a woman running through the woods, So I don't know what that process is, but it's definitely worth pursuing. I think it'd be cool. Thomas asks, will you invite us to remix via stems or only Patreon? But I'm going to do a remix contest. It was part of my Kickstarter Flex. It's not called Flex. What is it called? Stretch Goals is doing a remix contest for Calling Me Back In. So I'm right now I'm focusing on just trying to get the vinyl ready to be submitted for production. Once that's going, because it takes like 10 weeks. So once that's going, then I can start to like focus on some other aspect of things, and maybe then I can go ahead and figure out how I want to make the stems for that. I mean, I think for a lot of remix contests, usually you just give people the vocal, but I don't know if that's what people are going to want, if they're going to want to have more material to work with. But for those of you that would remix Calling Me Back In, that's the one that's calling me back in, calling me back in. Would you, when you envision doing it, do you envision like doing something to the instrumentation, or do you imagine sort of like creating a new, kind of like a new track to the vocals? I don't know. A bit of column A, a bit of column B. Yeah. Anyway, so that will be happening. If not in the spring, by the summer, we'll definitely be doing a Calling Me Back in remix contest. I don't know what the prize is, except maybe like I play it for everyone and maybe put it on my Bandcamp or something, Obviously split revenue or whatever. I don't know how that works. Something like that. Or if there's a physical reward you would want, like a vinyl or a CD, or I will not be giving you my cats. Sorry. Am I touring? No. A vinyl pressing? Yeah, if they haven't already bought it. A bunch of people have already pre-ordered, which is so cool. I can't wait to hold it. I think it's going to be so cool. I got to tour the vinyl factory that's going to be doing it during South by Southwest here. And they were so nice, and it was so cool to watch what do they call them? Pucks of vinyl coming through the conveyor belt and then getting smooshed. And they're like, it's like the texture of milk chocolate right here. And I was like, oh my God, cool. I want to eat that puck. And then it smooshes it, and then it cuts the edge. And it was so cool to see the lacquers you know, top and bottom. And then I got to also fondle all the different packaging and kind of see, like, I really wanted to see what the matte finish cover was like and if it'd be worth the extra money, and it's totally worth it. It's so nice looking. And yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming. And yeah, it was like a Turing Factory, the drum analysis. That's funny. It does have a little bit of the industrial sound just because of the literally the sounds, the hiss and the hammers, you know. But cool. All right, guys, thanks again so much. So yeah, as a reminder, everything from like, so this is a single from an album that I just put out that's on Bandcamp, and it will be all on streaming on April 11th. That's the official date for all the streaming, but you can go listen to it now. Plus on Bandcamp, you can listen. I think you can listen to it, or at least when you buy it, you get them. But there's 7 instrumental and alt mixes of those tracks, and then there's a bonus track called Ellipsis. And you can also pre-order CD and vinyl, and there's also prints of the artwork. And what else? Please stream and comment on my lyric videos and share them with people and stuff like that. Just, you know, more engagement helps me so much to reach more people. I actually started running some ads on Instagram, and I've been getting a bunch of new followers, so that's kind of cool. It's weird. It's like, oh my God, I'm like reaching outside like of my lovely YouTube bubble. But so far the response has been great. So, okay, I hope you have a great rest of your night and an awesome weekend. And I will see some of you on Sunday for 1970 live stream. So that's going to be cool. And if you're a patron, I'll see you tomorrow for the Coil Apes of Naples listening party. All right, that's it for now. Have a great one, everybody. Oh, I forgot that I was small. So anyway, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you for all your love and kind words and everything. It's been really amazing. Bye.